Yes, guys, we're going to integrate Feign Client into our Auth Microservice. Guys, here we need to add the implementation of Feign Client to the build Gradle. But we're working with a library, as you know. So we'll need to add Feign Client into the dependencies Gradle. So where does Feign Client come from and how can we add it? Now, guys, when you go to Spring Hire, you'll be able to find it under Spring Cloud. Look. Spring Cloud Open Paint. From here, we can read the basic information about it in the documentation. We can learn the details from here. So, if you pay attention, this is a subcomponent of Spring Cloud. So what should you do? You need to find this open fame through Spring Cloud. You can do it like this. Spring. When Cloud Open Fame is set up, it's Spring Cloud Starter Open Feign. This is the correct one, guys. There's a 4.1.3 version. Let's take that. Let's close this for now. I'm adding it here and I'll explain how we'll do it. Just like you add Spring Boot, you add Spring Cloud here as well, guys. There are a lot of versions in Spring Cloud's Spring Starter Cloud. A lot of versions are available. So, let's write the plugins for different projects here now. Spring. Cloud Starter Open, a brand new beginning. Open Fame. Yes, now it's Spring Framework Cloud. The other one was Spring Framework Boot. This is Spring Framework Cloud, here. In that one, we've added it, now. Let's add it, and at the end, let's wrap up our day, guys. Now we've also added Spring Cloud Starter Open Feign here. So what are we going to do with this now? We're going to add this to our Auth Microservice service. We'll add it. Let's go to the Auth Microservice build Gradle file. Here, implementation.libs. We add this and refresh our build. Now the dependencies are downloading. Guys, it'll be done in a bit. Now, if you want to activate Spring Cloud Open Feign in the root of your project, guys, you say add enable Feign Client right here. Yes, right there. You add enable Feign Client here. If you don't add this, your requests won't work. Then you'll be wondering why it didn't work. You'll be searching for the reason. You need to do this first, guys. So what are we going to do next? Basically, our main goal is this, guys. We want our microservice, once it has finished its job, meaning after it has created the user it needs to create, to also send a request to the user microservice. Based on the response it gets from there, it should complete the process and return a successful registration result to the user. So, how are we going to achieve this? First of all, you need to be able to send requests to the user profile microservice. To do this, you add a new package in the Auth Microservice. The name of your package is Manager, Friends. Under Manager, write the name of the microservice you'll be dealing with. So, user profile. What am I saying? This will be an interface. Guys, we're going to write it like this. Now, filling in the blanks of this interface. So, creating an implementation class from this and creating a bean is related to Spring. Here, you just write the basic templates. That's why it's very easy to use. Now, you come here. You say Feign Client. Guys, Feign Client. So, what will this Feign Client do? Now, let's do it like this. Let's clear this part here. Just to understand the logic. Let me open the user microservice like this. Here, the part where the user is created. Let's open that part as well. Look, this is the part where you create the user. Create user. So, what am I going to do here? With this Feign client, I'm actually going to send a request to create user and get a result. Guys, to the page. How do we do this? Now, first, it asks you for a URL. It says, where are you going to send the request? Tell me that. Then it also asks you for a name. Be careful when giving the name. Guys, don't give the same name to different applications. I'm calling it User Profile Manager. That's basically it. We're going to provide a URL. How are you going to provide this URL, guys? So here, again, you can provide the URL like this. You can also put your static URLs here. It can be used this way. Or you can define a value in a YAML file using a key-value logic and do this for your project. So you can just say my project and write the endpoints related to the Feign client here. That's another option. I'll write it directly so you can see it clearly, guys. Okay. http://localhost 2.090 to 91. Now, pay attention. Where am I sending the request? I'm sending the request to the user microservice. So, I'll send it to where that's located. I'll send it to the port where it's running. That's why you need to pay attention to this. Then I say /. Please pay attention to this. Look, what's the thing for user profile? /user profile. We've written this wrong. Because this should have versions as well. Let's check and fix that right away. Looks like I forgot to add developer versions in user profile. Developer plus versions plus user profile. Yes, that's how it was supposed to be. Guys, where is this comp? So let's come back again. What happened here? Let's see. Look, it's like dev and a user profile. So that's how it turned out. Guys, that's the trick. I'm just pasting this in. There are some spaces. Let's remove the spaces. Don't leave any spaces in the members you write. Guys, don't leave spaces at the beginning or end. Not at all, okay? So, is there something here you should pay attention to? Guys, this interface's phone-line URL is not any method in this class. It's the class itself. Why is it this class? Because there might be other methods that the user profile manager will use inside it. I mean, I'm not going to create an interface just to use a single method, of course. I can write out each thing here for all the endpoints that can be used within this class. Guys, that's why I wrote it as User Profile Manager. Alright, let's continue now. Which method are we going to use here? This, guys, is the method we want to trigger. Now, let me ask you this. What can you include inside an interface? Can you define variables? Can you define methods with their bodies? With some features you can, but basically, in terms of core logic, you can define a method inside an interface. But you can't write the body of the method. In other words, you just declare it. A method should be written like this. Right at this point. This is what you do. Since this is a method, you copy the basic components that make up the method, that is, the method's definition, from here like this. I'm explaining it to you this way just to make it easier. You come here and paste it like this. Guys, all right. There you go, like this. Done. Some things are missing here. We'll complete them soon. Guys, this is the method. So, all the information about the response we'll get from the method we trigger and the stages of triggering it are here. What's missing here, for example, we haven't written create user. We need that. We also need the create user request DTO. So let's create these as well. Where are these? Guys, what's the name of the REST office in this user microservice? Create user in the user microservice. I'm taking this definition. I'm coming over. I'm adding a phone to the REST office section in the Auth Microservice. That's the first one. I closed it. See, it's fixed. The other one is also the create user request DTO. I'm coming here, inside my DTOs. Create user request DTO. I'm taking this. Guys, I'm coming with this. I'm also testing this inside the DTO request. This one has also been added here. Guys, once I import this as well, you'll notice that the parameters are now defined as they should be. Now, this is the User Profile Manager. It's now ready to send requests to our user service. Let's try this out quickly. Guys, let's see together how it works. So, where are we going to trigger this? Of course, during user registration. Should we write it here? Don't do that, guys. No, more precisely, not in the out or controller part, not in the out controller part. You don't do business logic here. In other words, you don't take the tasks that should be handled by the business logic layer, the service layer, and do them in the presentation layer, in the controller layer. So where should you do it? Of course, in the service layer. You should do it here. Guys, alright, come on, let's do it together. Now, I'm coming over here. Private final. What was it? User Profile Manager. User Profile Manager. Be careful, if you're not in the lesson, it's going to create an object from this. Alright, now we're changing this part. Look, before I was returning directly here. Now I can't return directly anymore. Here, I'm going to say out. First, register me. Give me out. Alright, so what happens next? I'm going to send a request to the User Profile Manager to create a user. Okay, what does it want from me? It wants a create request to object. it wants an object. Alright, now I'm coming here. Here, I say auto-ID, look, auto.getID. Why? Because look, now I'm saving this. I save it and get information from here. Nice. .email. out.getImail.username. out.getUsername, you can also get this from the DTO. It doesn't really matter. If this is okay too, return. We say out and return out. As you can see, by doing this, you can easily send this information to the user microservice. That's it, guys. Now, let's try this together. We'll also run a comprehensive and detailed out-player user analysis. Yes, both of them are up and running. Let's go and see. We can make this a bit smaller. Yeah, this looks good. Now, I'm going to create a new user here. And here, let me execute the user list again. Yes. Yes, now as you can see right here, there's one person. Alright, let's go ahead and run this part again. Let's try it in the register section. Type it in. I'm executing it. It returned to me that the record was created. Nice. So, did it get created here? I mean, did the user's profile get created in my user service? I'm executing it. Look, guys, Mohammed Demet has appeared. Did you see it? Look, Demet's out ID, username, and email have also come through. So now when I save auto1, it goes and triggers the part that needs to be triggered with the user profile microservice and gets a response. As you can see, if you want to establish communication between peer-to-peer services in your applications like this is the fastest and easiest way to do it. Paying client, guys. Another thing you need to check here will be this, guys. Now, if you're doing such an operation in the out service, you should also handle transaction operations here. So what should you do if there's a problem here? You should mark this with the transaction annotation here. The operation performed by the repository here is rolled back and an exception is thrown. With exception management here, if a problem occurs as a result, the user is informed and asked to try registering again. Here's the part you need to pay attention to, guys. The part where we return a response to the user here is not what you might think. Since this is a REST API, it's probably being used by our website or mobile app. So the response we return here is sent to a mobile application. The mobile app checks and says, "Oh, I couldn't complete this operation." It tells the user, "I couldn't complete it because of such and such reason. Let's try again." You get what I mean. Don't think of this part. How will the controller respond to the user? Don't think, will it return a Boolean? It doesn't return a Boolean here. When you add exception handlers, it returns a meaningful logical function. So let's not get hung up on this. This is how it's integrated into the Paint client. Guys, integration and usage are very simple. You can develop it however you like.